one, depending on where you are in the world. It is Wednesday today, and we are back for another Confidence Convo. This is season 2, episode 4, and this week we are diving into how exercise builds confidence, and we have a very special guest here with us. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Davina Maria, and I'm a master coach and founder of the Restore Yourself Method and host of Worthy Woman Facebook group. And I help female go-getters in their 30s develop unshakable confidence so they can powerfully step into their limitless potential. Over to you, Joanna.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Davina. Hello, Sean. Thank you for being here. My name is Joanna Tonkin. I'm a registered psychotherapist and confidence coach. I help young adults improve their self-confidence so that they can become successful. Davina and I got together to create this for you because we are obsessed with all things personal development, and we strongly believe in the power of learning from one another.
And just to clarify, we are not perfect at being confident all of the time. Like you, we move through our struggles and overcome obstacles and mindsets to continuously improve. So just think of us as guides by your side. So I know I mentioned that we have a special guest with us today, and Sean is here. Sean, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, it's hard to introduce myself after that, after your intros. My name is Sean Power. I am from Ireland, if you can't tell by my accent, and I am a personal trainer, yoga instructor, and an online coach as well. I also work in schools as well and do different PE programs in schools. So I don't really know if I have a niche, but I work with people of all ages, from all backgrounds.
So cool. Sounds kind of like a jack of all trades. You
Exactly.
wear many hats.
Yeah, maybe a master of none, but I kind of like it that way too. Keeps me busy.
Yeah. Keeps it busy, keeps it fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you went from one to the other, or how you navigate working such different hats all the time? Like, what's that journey like for you? What was it like for you?
Yeah, so I started. I wasn't really always into fitness actually. When I was younger, I played sports like hurling, football, rugby, all that. And then in my teenage years, I kind of grew out of it. I just stopped. And then I got into karate then when I was 16 years old, and then got into like the gym, and then ended up, after school, I actually did a healthcare assistant course, and to be a healthcare worker, and I was working in a nursing home for a bit, and I knew I wanted to help people, but I didn't want to help people in that capacity, or I felt it was very hard. The work was tough, but also it was more mentally tough, I think. And then my love for fitness and exercise kind of brought me to go on and do exercise and health fitness. And then from that, I got a job in a leisure club, in the gym, and then I'm from Cork, and then I moved to Galway, and I was working in a leisure club and gyms in Galway as well. And then 2018, I started MMA when I went up there actually to Galway, and then from there I got into yoga because I wanted to get injured less doing MMA basically. And then I was like, oh, there's actually a bit more to this yoga crack than just a bit of stretch. So then in 2018, I kind of threw myself at it after doing yoga for just a few months. I started with Ashtanga yoga, which, if anyone knows yoga, like Ashtanga is like boot camp yoga. So it really went extreme. And then I decided, oh, maybe I can learn more about this and put it down as a business expense as well. So I went to India and became a yoga teacher. And then I've been teaching yoga since 2018. I had my own gym in Galway as well, like a semi-private personal training gym. Then COVID kind of put a stop to that, and I've been working online ever since. And at the moment, I have some online, and then I also work with Schools Fitness Ireland as well. I know it sounds like a lot when I say it. So I work in schools during the day. I'm like Batman. work in schools during the day and fight crime at night. No, I do classes in the evening as well. So I teach yoga in the evenings, or I have different fitness classes, or I do the odd podcast as well in the evenings. And as I mentioned before, this is actually not a lot of people know, but I'm going to Australia in March. Only kind of immediate people know that. So here's a big reveal if there's anyone watching. What I missed out there. Kind of went off in a bit of a tangent, but sure. That's what these conversations open format. There's no real rule. So hope that kind of gave you a brief introduction to who I am or what I'm about.
Yeah, definitely. I actually love that you do so many different things, because I feel like when it comes to exercise, I feel like yoga and all the different kind of types of yoga are very different to martial arts, and that's very different to, teaching in schools. And I actually think that having kind of access to so many different types of exercise is amazing, because most people will maybe do one, maybe two. They might just go to the gym, or they might just do weights, or they might just do cardio. But I feel like you've probably got like a very well-rounded kind of view of, body movement.
Yeah,
body, mind, spirit.
Exactly. Yeah, I like to think of a full holistic view of training, so I can be versatile as well and change a session if somebody comes in and they've like an injury, or somebody comes in and they want to do a session but that they can't or they should not, that they're stressed out of their head because of work or whatever. Then I can say, okay, let's do like a little stretch, little meditation, or some breath work, or even a sound healing. I can just turn the session totally around. Like most of the time I have my book, and I have we're doing squats and we're doing push-ups, blah blah blah, and I just put an X through it sometimes, and just like put a little note, this is what happened today. Had to change the whole session around, but that's the way it should be as well. Like and then I'm not afraid to push my clients either when they need it.
Yeah, absolutely love that. I was going to ask, actually, when you were sort of like a healthcare worker and you were transitioning into being a personal trainer, how was that kind of transition for you? Because I know you said that you knew you wanted to help people, but you just didn't want to help people in that capacity. So when you were transitioning from that capacity to helping people with personal training and exercise, what was that transition like for you?
So kind of to bring it back, my grandmother had Alzheimer's and she lived with us for years, and then she went into a nursing home, and I think that's kind of why I went into that, because I wanted to help people who are like my grandmother in a similar situation.
Yeah.
But then I found it difficult that way as well. That I nearly saw my grandmother and every old lady, and I was like, oh God, it was tough. And then I had a passion for exercise as well, and I had done the courses, and I just applied for different jobs. So maybe if I applied, maybe if I got the job with the healthcare system, maybe I'd still be doing that. But I was lucky that a job came up in Youghal, where I'm from, to be a health or be a personal trainer and gym instructor and all that, to work in the leisure club. So it wasn't too difficult because I applied for a job and I got it, so it was fine.
Yeah. It takes a certain level of confidence really to make that transition from what you know and what you're kind of comfortable doing, even though it was kind of uncomfortable as well, to doing something almost completely different. And it must have taken a lot of courage for you to do that.
I think if I went the other way, if I went from a leisure club to a healthcare assistant, I think that would be a bigger transition. But the other way was kind of like, oh, you mean I just have to teach a few classes and do a few PTs and have to
easier.
Yeah, way easier.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely a lot easier going that way.
I love that. So experience, as someone who does a lot of different types of exercise, in your opinion, how do you believe exercise builds confidence for yourself or for your clients?
Yeah, good question. Look, exercise can build confidence in many ways in the short term and also the long term. Short term, obviously, like if you're in a crappy mood, like you go for a walk, go for a run, whatever, do some jumping jacks, you'll get the endorphins and you're going to feel a lot better. In the long run, like you go to the gym once or twice, you're probably not going to see results. You'll be a bit sore the next day and you'll think, oh, my muscles are a bit bigger, but they'll go down. But like over weeks and months and years, you lose body fat or you put on muscle and you build confidence that way. But also just like going into a class or going into the gym, that can build confidence as well. Literally just going in. Like I know I'm a personal trainer for years, but still if I have to go into a new class, like I started CrossFit just in January, and I remember my first class sitting outside going, oh, this is what it feels like for, clients coming into my first session. And I goes, right, I have to remember this feeling because that's the feeling that people get if they come to me for the first time. So that's good as well. I like to put myself in kind of a little uncomfortable situations like that. But that helped me build a bit of confidence as well. But just I think to build confidence, just have the lowest barrier of entry possible. So just have something so small that you can't like say no to it. And that goes for exercise as well. Or whatever it is, diet. If it's like water is your thing, just go, right, I just have to drink this glass of water today. And you're like, it's only a glass of water, but it's so small, a small barrier of entry, So confidence could be for you, whatever. You have to, I don't know, say hello to a stranger or something like that.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
Go on, sorry.
So really what I'm hearing you say is that, how confidence can help build, how exercise can help build confidence is by, having consistency in your effort and actually seeing the results. You'll become more confident in your ability to do things or to get the results and the outcomes that you're looking for. But also what's really important, I really love, is stepping outside of your comfort zone. And Davina and I talk about this all the time. It's like we get so afraid to step out of our comfort zone, to go to that new class, to do that new thing. And really that's what it takes in order to build that self-confidence. So thank you for highlighting that and saying why it's so important.
Yeah, I really love that too, because I started a new dance class in December. And I've been dancing for years. I've been like a dancer since I was a teenager. So I'm pretty confident at dancing, but I know exactly what you mean, Sean. When you go to a new class, you're a bit like, I don't know what it's going to be like. I don't know if the people are going to be friendly. Am I going to like it? Am I going to be good at it? I might get into the class and then realize that I can't do it. And then I have to come home feeling like, oh, I didn't really couldn't really smash that style of dancing. Maybe I'm not really a dancer at all, or I don't know. So I feel like with yourself, because you do many types of exercise, I'm sure that every time you've kind of like tried a new thing, you've probably had what Joanna and I would talk about in terms of like a level of confidence. You then go up to another level of confidence because you're like, okay, I'm trying something new. I'm not sure I'm going to be good at it or that I like it. And then you do it and you think, oh, this is amazing. I'll continue doing this. And then after a while, you then try something new again. And then you're like, oh, I feel a bit weird. This is how clients feel when they come to me. This is new to me. And I think eventually you'll probably do something different after the CrossFit, and, you kind of build your kind of exercise confidence portfolio, as, if you like.
Yeah, I like that. Building a portfolio of confidence or exercise classes or whatever. Definitely, yeah. I like to. That's a good way of thinking of it. Like putting in the confidence piggy bank or something. Because it's not just to practice every day. Like you do have to practice it every single day. You don't have to. You get to, I guess. Or you don't get to. You have to.
Yeah, great wording. I have an interesting question. So I have a couple clients that I can think of that exercise or want to exercise or want to get into shape, and they feel that no matter their efforts, they are unable to achieve the results that they want. So what would you say to a client of yours who says, I've tried different things and I keep failing, or I've tried things and they're not working, and, kind of feeling like unmotivated and stuck in their fitness journey? What would you say to someone like that?
Well, you'd sit down and see what they actually do want. Because a lot of times you say you want one thing, but you actually want another thing, or your actions don't say that you want the thing. You might physically say, yeah, look, I want a 6-pack, but then you go and get a takeaway every other day or something like that. Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's usually, sometimes it is a timing thing as well, that they have so much other stresses in their life that they're maybe trying to mask it with exercise, which I do all the time. If I'm stressed, or if I'm in a good mood, or if I have something coming up, procrastination comes in, and I'll go, oh, I can't do that. I have to go to the gym, or I have to go for a walk, or I have to go and walk the dog. Like, I should really be like answering an email or sending an invoice or whatever. So definitely seeing where their values and their goals really do lie. I'd love to give you a better kind of an answer, but it's so individualized. It really is, and there's always something behind it.
For sure.
You see it all the time. People, like I do it myself. I want to do X, but then I end up doing Y.
Mm-hmm. I think values and goals is exactly it. I think that's key, kind of finding out why they're doing it, what's important to them, and then, why, whether their actions or behaviors aren't matching that.
And it,
yeah.
And the internet is full of like, oh, you just don't want it hard enough, and you're just not trying hard enough, and then that's just more pressure on you. Now, a little bit of that is good, but like a little bit of like David Goggins is good, but then you have to be like kind on the other side as well. Like I had a nap earlier because I was working, and then I'd a few hours, like 2 hours free. If a self-employed person can't have 2 hours free in the day, and then I had the class and all of this, but like I knew I'd be tired, and my training this would probably be crap because I'd be tired if I didn't have a nap. But like if I had an ice bath, it probably would have been like more acceptable in the internet community now. It would have been perceived as difficult.
Yeah.
But
so
you have to be kind to yourself that way as well. So it's
and I completely agree, and I also think that we're all kind of in the personal development industry, if you like. We're all kind of people that push ourselves and try and improve. And I think sometimes there's a danger with the internet where you could perceive yourself as broken, and then every day you are fixing. You almost like you said, you're almost like putting so much pressure on yourself to be better that you forget the other side, which is the rest, the compassion, the kind of time to just be yourself, and forget about the personal development for 10-20 minutes. I know it's hard because I struggle with it as well. I'm one of those people who's constantly learning and trying to find new things. And every once in a while, I have to tell myself, right, you need to read a fiction book now. It's time to just kind of switch off from that and enjoy yourself as you are without feeling like I've got to do this better, or, maybe I shouldn't take that nap. Maybe I should have an ice bath, or, instead of whatever it is, sometimes you just need to have the downtime, the rest, and it's 100% okay.
Yeah. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing, absolutely nothing at all. Like during the summer in August, I did a 10-day silent meditation. So like no journaling, no reading, writing, no speaking, no even eye contact with anyone. Just meditating for like 7 hours a day. Like you'd have an hour in the morning, hour after breakfast, an hour. and that was tough. But you just have to like surrender to it and know like, okay, the world is still spinning around. And then you get out and you're like, oh, what did I miss? Like Man United lost again. You know, like nothing really happened.
Yeah.
You know, it's 10 days.
Yeah.
It's a long time in the short term, but it's a short time in the long term. But that really gave me just peace of mind as well. Made me just step back and go, right, I don't need to look at my phone as much, or especially like late at night or early in the morning, which sometimes still creeps in, because I'm watching a self-improvement video or something like that, or you know, sometimes the best thing is just nothing.
Yeah. 100% agree. 100% agree. Okay, so we're about to kind of close off the episode today, but before we go, we like to kind of end with some tips for our audiences. And I wanted to ask you if we had someone in our audience who was just starting out on their fitness journey and they didn't really know where to start, what to do, how to kind of move forward, what would you kind of advise them to kind of get them started on their fitness journey?
I'd advise them to go to Sean Power Fitness on Instagram and send me a DM and sign up for my coaching. We're self-employed. We have to be. I always have to be selling.
Yeah. I love that.
I also have a free program on it as well that you can do at home. So that. Like I said earlier, just make the barrier of entry so low. Just like if you've done nothing, no exercise or nothing in years or whatever, start off just with like a walk for 5 minutes. Put a timer on your watch. When it goes off, walk back. You're back to the house in 10 minutes. And it's like, oh, that was easy. And then do 15 minutes, and then go 20 minutes. Get a friend, go for a walk with a friend. Organize it, not that day, but like organize it a few days before, and a few times maybe during the week, so you have somebody to meet, so you're accountable. You can get a personal trainer as well, or go to a class. I like that because I was a personal trainer for years, and the one thing that kept coming up was I wouldn't do this if I didn't have to be at the gym at 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, I'd leave it slide. So the accountability is huge, whether you're getting that from going to a class or a personal trainer or a friend, wherever you're getting that from. Use that accountability. That's what I'd say first. Then on the food side of it, just write down everything you're eating, or else take a picture of it. You can, if you've done macros and all that before, you can go down that avenue then. But just the fact of writing down what you're eating will make you more mindful of what you're eating.
Yeah, I love that.
Get up off your ass and move.
So some of the things, just to summarize, were making it easy, making it fun, having accountability, scheduling it, if I'm not mistaken, tracking food and diet, also mindful eating. But most importantly, I think you nailed it. Like, just get up and do it. I heard Mel Robbins recently say something in the Nike slogan. I think I mentioned this last time, actually, now that I'm saying it. But in the slogan, just do it, what's the most important word? The just.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to do it, just do it. Just get up and do it, rip the Band-Aid off and get started. So, yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, I love that. And I think a lot of the tips that you've given are ones that I follow myself. So, yeah, feeling pretty good.
On the right track.
Well, I know that we can probably talk a little bit more about this, but we've kind of come to the end of this episode. So thank you, Sean, so much for being here. It's been so great chatting with both of you on this really important topic. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. And for more information on who we are, what we do, and our love of all things confidence and self-development, you can find and follow us from our social media information, which will be posted below in the comments. We will include Sean's Instagram as well. And if you liked what you've heard, please feel free to like, share, or subscribe, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yes. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming and being here. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Take care.